Welcome out to the farm. Today, I'm Jesse Canan, and we're going to look at the Kimber K6XS and my favorite little gun to carry, the Smith Wesson MP340. Now, this is straight out the farm, y'all. Look at that. Still got the sweat. That's how you know this is legit. But this gun here, that's my favorite. Now, these are my carry loads. We'll get into those here in a minute. Buffalo bore, 140 grain, lead-free, 357 short barrel Magnum. These things are legit. So let's go into this first thing. It's the MP340. This is my favorite gun. You say why? It's just a little Smith & Wesson J-frame. Well, one, it's a good Smith & Wesson J-frame. Okay. Those of you who are new to the channel, I've bought 5 Smith & Wesson revolvers. Right now I have one of them back. I haven't tested it out yet. So far it looks like it's good, but the other 4 are still off at Smith & Wesson. But I love Smith & Wesson revolvers. So I got the wife the Kimber, but I have Smith & Wessons. She is a Kimber. Sometimes I shoot it. But this MP340, this thing weighs just a touch over 13 ounces, y'all. This was my ankle carry when I was on duty. This has been my farm carry. This has been my primary when I'm in summertime and it's just shorts and a t-shirt. It's kind of hard to hide a whole lot. It's been all over the place with me. Tennessee, Texas, it's been around. Now, the thing with this gun, and quite frankly, all these lightweight little tiny snub nose revolvers, okay, be it just regardless of the maker, if you put something heavy in these guns, you really feel it. And today I'm going to put myself through something that last time I did it, I told the wife I wasn't going to do it again because I fired a bunch of these HTP Remington rounds. I think I shot 9 of them out of here, and you can accuse me of sitting down to pee if you want to. My skin's thick enough to take it, but my hand was actually kind of sore, and I could feel that for the next 2 weeks. I mean, it's very punishing. You put a full 357 Magnum in there, and it's not pleasant whatsoever. These Buffalo bore rounds, they're not quite as bad. They're not full house 357. They're not their heavy offering, but it's nothing to sneeze at. You certainly know it when it goes off, when it happened to you. All right, but these light guns, the problem with them is a lot of people don't practice because it's just not fun to get the crap kicked out of you and your hand to hurt for the next 2 weeks because you went out and shot 9 rounds. What kind of practice session is that? That's about the practice session of I fired it that many times and I never shoot the gun again for most people. But I like the gun. It's got a lot of potential, and it meets a need that I had. My idea when I was carrying it on duty was, if let's say, well, before I went to Iraq, we were doing a combatives training, right, for the Army, and I was not, I was an aircraft mechanic and I was a door gunner, so I was a crew chief on the Black Hawk helicopter. So I wasn't doing anything super kind of cool, but we had to do combatives. So I was tussling with the instructor, and guy was bigger than I am, and I was, in better shape. So he was bigger than I am, stronger than I am, obviously knew more than I knew because he was the instructor for the combative session. And I was holding him off in a sparring match, but I wasn't getting anywhere. There was gonna be a time where either I was gonna make the mistake or he was gonna run me out of gas. But I had this guy up, and I had him in my guard. One of the guys yelled, "Hey, Canan, get him!" Well, like, I can get to my ankles. So if this happened to me when I was working the street, maybe I need to introduce an option, a lethal force option if I had found myself on the street where I wasn't going to be able to win that fight, because I win every fight. So what did I need to do to make it so I had a tool to win that fight? So, if I had I used to carry a karambit. So if I had the karambit, maybe that wasn't going to work, duty gun, obviously, but that's kind of a target for weapons retention at that point, right? So what would I do? Maybe go to my ankle, and then, it would be really good if I was in like full body contact and I needed to discharge a firearm is a revolver, particularly a hammerless one at that, because it could be anywhere, muzzle pressed against whatever, and it's still going to go. So, that's why I went with that gun. And I first saw it in a magazine from Atlantic Tactical, actually. I don't know if they're still in business or not, but they had it in there, and I remember telling the wife I wanted one. And it was expensive at the time. It was, I think, 600 bucks. They're a lot more expensive now, but certainly my income and age at that point in time when I wanted one, that 600 bucks was a lot of money. So we got some wad cutters here. Let's just see what happens with some wad cutters. But that 600 bucks was a lot of money. But, you know, I came back from Iraq. I still wanted one. And finally, the wife got me one. And I want to say it was 2011, something like that. And, ooh. And so I liked the gun a lot. I carried it on my ankle. And then I would just carry it around the house. We should be empty. And it's my gym shorts gun. You know, some of you guys think you guys crazy running around the house in gym shorts with a gun, but hey, whatever. Float your boat to America. But, you know, with wad cutters, it's not too bad to fire, okay? But now we're going to step up to some standard 38 special, and these are the Winchester full metal jackets. These are not wad cutters. Those are wad cutters that I got from a buddy went to Iraq with, oddly enough, and he had a whole bunch of these 357 and 38 rounds that somebody had given him, and he didn't have 357 to 38. I said, say it ain't so. So he went ahead and said, hey, you want them? And I said, sure. See, these have a lot more heft to them. Oh, what's going on there, Missy? All right, so these got a lot more gas to them. I don't know, guys. I don't know. Maybe you guys want to fire some of these HTP rounds. I'm going to fire one of these buffalo bores for you, okay? Just one. And I'm going to do that. Here's what I'm going to do for you, all right? I'm going to load me up a wad cutter, okay? And then I'm going to load me up one of these Winchester Smith Wesson or 38 special rounds. And then I'm going to load me up one of my buffalo bore carry rounds. And I'll show you why these buffalo bore carry rounds are amazing. Followed by one of these Remington HTP rounds. I think that I should be okay if I do that. Now, some of you guys didn't know this. You know how the cylinder turns in a Smith & Wesson? So what I'm going to do is close this, and I'm going to make sure this is at the top. And the first round will be this one, because the Smith & Wesson cylinder, that goes what? That's counterclockwise, okay? A Colt cylinder goes clockwise. Smith & Wessons are counterclockwise. So we've got this all set up now, 4 rounds. Whew! All right. Now, if I flinch, it's your fault. Okay, I'm doing this for you. Some guy out there said, I want to see you shoot the MP340. I said, okay. Oh yeah, nice wad cutter. There's that Winchester white box. Ooh, I missed him. Buffalo bore. All right, y'all, that hurt. Okay, at least I hit that one, but doggone it, that one hurts. Okay, it really is just too much horsepower for one of these little guns. I mean, not from the metallurgy with these lightweight scandium frames. You know, this is a scandium frame, not an aluminum. But it's a lot of horsepower to try to put in this little tiny gun, and you know, you really feel it. So my hand stings now just from the one shot. But it's a great gun, and it really works out as far as, you know, carrying it around anywhere. If your rule number 1 is to have a gun, and you know, you can subpart B whatever on that, is to have one in effective caliber. This will do it for you. But I've gotten into those 32s because that one is not so pleasant to shoot. But I got the wife this Kimber K6XS, and this is in 38 special plus P. Okay, so it doesn't run full 357s, but you know, it's a very good looking gun. And the only trouble with it, I wish, is they had, I mean, if this was just a night sight, maybe like one of those XS dot sights, like, so here's the sights, right? So maybe if it was more like that Smith sight, where, and that's a night sight in the middle there, and I'm just going to let you see some of this wear on this, on my carry gun. I mean, this thing is just, you know, but this is like, these are the wear marks that it got from earning them, from being around and being carried. And so, no, that's like endearing love marks for me. Now, they can't come from the factory like that. They got to earn them. But this Kimber here This has been a very nice gun. They've got really nice triggers on them out of the box. That MP340, you know, if you can't tell, if I like something, I like to take it almost to the pinnacle of what it could be. And so I sent this MP340 back to Smith Wesson. I sent that to the factory, to the Performance Center, and had them do a J-frame action job. This Kimber doesn't need it. Okay, these Kimbers are kind of expensive compared to some other offerings, but I can't talk them up enough. But the cylinders, because they hold 6, the cylinder is a little wider. Now compared to that J-frame, I think when I measured it with some calipers, it was something like 1.3 inches, and this Kimber was 1.4. So, I mean, really, if we're going to talk about 1/10 of an inch, you know, maybe you should just bother getting the Kimber if you want the extra round. But you know, the other part of that is aftermarket support. You know, we need holsters for these things. And the J-frame's been it's been around for so long that it's not hard to find anything, okay, that you want for a J-frame. And these Kimbers, I mean, I'm not really having too many problems with that. But even some of the offerings, I did look for some holsters companies. I have a Harry's, I think a Harry's holster Icon 2.0 for my J-frame here for inside the waistband. But you know, I think there was a Filster or something like that. One of them didn't offer for the Kimber. So, but it's a great gun. I've got a bunch of those 32 Ultimate carries from Smith & Wesson. Those haven't been working out so great. I'm sure Smith is going to get them right and send them back, but I've got nothing but good things to say about that Kimber right here. And I mean, this MP340 is it. You know, it's just like, okay, you get one handgun, and it's the only one you're going to get for the rest of your life. What are you going to take? Right now, I'd still take this MP340. And I've got a CZ Custom A01C, but that's 51 ounces fully loaded, ready to go. And that guy I could carry in gym shorts, just saying. So I forgot to get into these bullets, right? I finished the whole video, and we're going to throw that in here. So these are the rounds that I carry with this MP340. All right, and if I wouldn't carry these, I'd probably just carry a 38 wad cutter. But I bought some Federal Hydra Shock Deep rounds, okay? And from the wife's Kimber K6XS and this MP340, this is the expansion that we got. And I don't remember which one's which, but one of them was out of the 340, one of them was out of the Kimber. But out of these short snub noses, these 38 plus Ps in this Hydra Shock Deep, they did not reach 12 inches and they didn't fully expand. All right. Now I have a Smith & Wesson Model 19 Carry Comp, and this is the expansion I got, and I did get adequate penetration. Okay. And I was using clear ballistics gel 10 feet. But here I want to show you why I like these rounds, okay? With heavy clothing and clear ballistics gel, this is one of the slugs from those buffalo bores. Right here. So you can see how big that dude is. There's your start out. So he gets pretty big, and it got every bit of 16 inches of penetration from a little tiny snub nose and 357 Magnum. I mean, this thing, and then the shank, you know, go ahead, because I've seen the bullet kind of stop sideways a little bit here too. When I was testing these through gel, that's fine. That's even bigger. So, you know, these rounds have been, I've never seen one fail through heavy clothing, and I've never seen one, you know, fail through bare gel like Florida Man. So, you know, be it 4 layers of heavy denim, or be it Florida Man wearing nothing, then that round seems like it's going to give me adequate penetration, and it's going to give me expansion. So that's the benefit of, if you're going to run something and run that much gas with the MP340, is there's a good bullet right there, and it may not be the best bullet. You do your own testing, find out what you like, but that one has never failed me. And I went to a ballistics lab when I was on the police department at Middletown, Ohio. We went to one, and I ran one through the actual FBI, you know, their spec ballistics gelatin, the organic ballistics gelatin, with their heavy clothing, and it did the same. So, but I only had a one-off on that one. But I replicated it with the clear ballistics. Great round, does what you need to do. If you're carrying a 357, you might consider that. The only downside with buffalo bore stuff is they are really expensive. They're very proud of their rounds, but in this case, they have every right to be proud, because regardless of the 357 that you're carrying it in, be it the snub nose, or I imagine even your longer distance, your longer barrels, rather, that you're going to get some good consistent performance with that solid copper penetration and plenty of expansion. Stick around the farm, like, share, subscribe. Let me know what you want to see more of. The MP340, I addressed that and fired it in real time based off a user comment. So you want to see something, ask me a question. By all means, I'll get around to your questions, and maybe what you wanted to see is something I'll end up doing. Thanks for coming out.